Hello dear students, I am Tushar Kumar Das, one of the Tech faculties working in Jorhat Engineering College, Assam. So till now we have covered the as I am teaching power electronics subject. So till now we have discussed about in the previous class, if you see the previous lecture, we have discussed about for different firing circuits related to thyristor. Okay, so in that we discussed for R firing circuit, then RC firing circuit, then firing through UJT, that is unijunction transistor. Okay, so today we'll be discussing one of the most important part and the last part of the thyristor, that is what called reverse recovery. Reverse recovery of thyristor. Reverse recovery of thyristor. So this reverse recovery, the same thing you might have studied in case of diode also. So what is why it is required? Let's understand first that one. Then what happens during this reverse recovery? So if you see, we have discussed that operation of thyristor so it is a 4-layer device. P, N, P, N. So this P, N, and P, and N. So here the gate terminal will be connected. That is, this is gate terminal, and this is anode, and this is cathode. So whenever you will be operating this device, okay, so we will be applying certain voltage across anode to cathode. So here will be some voltage, that is VAK. Okay. Then after that you will be applying certain gate voltage for allowing the gate current to flow, so that it will be operating by breaking the junction J2, so J1 and J3. So this was the operation. So during that operation, what happens? So charge carrier from P layer, that will be coming to the N layer, then here P layer to N layer. So the charge carriers N layer to P layer. So charge carriers from one layer to other layer, that will be transferred during the operation. So what happens? Let's say we want to switch it off. So what is the purpose of what is the procedure of switching it off? So you have to make sure that anode to cathode current, that is nothing but anode current, also sometimes it is represented. So anode current will be 0. Then VAK, that is nothing but anode to cathode voltage, that will be negative for certain duration. Okay, why it is required? Okay, why this voltage should be negative? Because as the charge carriers that will be transferred from P layer to N layer, then N layer to P layer, then P layer to N layer. Okay, as the charge carriers should be transferred, okay, from some part of the N layer to P layer, because in this case the current will be flowing from anode to cathode. So the charge layer will be flowing here in the opposite direction. Okay, holes will be moving in the bottom downward direction. Okay, holes will be moving in downward direction, but the electrons will be moving in the upward direction. That is nothing but cathode to anode. So this is what called the exchange of charge carriers happen between the anode to cathode. Okay, so due to that reason, if you suddenly make it off without applying any gate voltage, let's say without applying any negative voltage. So let's say you are not applying any negative voltage here, just you have reduced the voltage to 0. Then what will happen? The charge carriers, whatever exchange during the on time, so that will be in the other layers. So in the next instant, when you are going to switch off, it will not wait for the gate signal. It will not wait for the gate signal. It will be switched on. Okay. So in order to make sure that whenever it will be started in the next cycle, we can control the on time. Then you need to have you have to apply one negative voltage across anode to cathode. So if you do so, then the charge carriers will retain its position. Then after that, the device will be remaining off. Okay. So this procedure is called reverse recovery of thyristor. So this thing is similar for the diode also. Diode also we are applying certain negative voltage. That is what called the reverse recovery. So reverse recovery, what happens here? The charge carriers from the other semiconductor layers which were transferred during the conduction, that will be coming back to its original value. So there are two cases we'll be finding out. Once it will be coming from the semiconductor layer, another time period for which it will be coming from the junction layer. So that's why if you draw this characteristics, That is what called the reverse recovery characteristics. Okay, let's say we'll be plotting this is nothing but the anode current. Okay, with respect to time, if you will be plotting, then what will happen? Initially, when the device is conducting, let's say the rated current is flowing. So this is the, let's say, IA rated. The rated current, anode current, that is nothing but current from anode to cathode that will be flowing. Then when you are giving or switching it off, you are trying to switching it off, then what I have to do? You have to reduce the current. So the current will be reduced. So the current will be reduced in this path. Okay, current gradually it will be reduced. So at this instant, the current anode current will become 0. So at this instant, your anode current will become 0. Then for certain duration, okay, then you have to, because you are applying the voltage in the reverse direction. So if you are applying the voltage in the reverse direction, let's say here will be presenting VA. Okay, so if you are presenting V here, now when the device is conducting, the VA is nothing but the voltage across the device, that is nothing but anode to cathode, let it be VA. So that voltage will be the minimum voltage drop if it is not ideal. Okay, but whenever it will be now conducting, when we are going to make it off, during that period it will be, you have to apply a negative voltage. So you will be applying one negative voltage here. Okay, you will be applying one negative voltage for certain duration. So this is nothing but VA. This is the variation of VA. So that is the peak value of the negative voltage. So it is minus VA. This is the peak value. Then what happens? As the voltage you have applied a negative, that's a current will be flowing for certain duration. The current will be flowing in the reverse direction. So current will be following this path. Okay, it will be following this path. Then here it will be coming to 0. But this is the current, means from the device it is becoming 0. But actually, because the device will be connected to a circuit, so let's say this is one thyristor. So this is connected to, this is one thyristor. So this is, let's say, you can connect one, this one thyristor you can connect to a load. Let's say take one voltage source here. So here you can connect one thyristor. So here certain load you can connect it. So this is nothing but, let's say, some AC voltage here. So this is the thyristor, this is the load. Clear? Now what happens? So the device, this period, up to this period, that period I have marked. Okay, so up to this period, okay, let it be, the time period will be TRR. Okay, for this period, okay, so what will happen? The current will be becoming 0, means the current through the device will be becoming 0, but the circuit current may not be 0. The circuit current may not be 0. So that will be, let's mark it dotted line. Okay, so here the circuit current is becoming 0, but here the device current is 0. So if you see that this period is known as the device turn up time. Okay, but this period will be known as the circuit turn up time. Okay, so always you have to make sure that always the device turn up time should be less than the circuit turn up time. Okay, so why it is essential? Because if the reverse will happen, if the device turn up time will be greater than the circuit turn up time, then what happens? The device will be not be off, but the circuit will be off. So that will allow the current to flow through the circuit. So due to that reason, this may not happen. Okay, this is not feasible. So this is not you are supposed to follow. So what will happen? So the device turn up time should be less than the circuit turn up time for successful commutation. Okay, for successful commutation. So what happens? This total device turn up time will be divided into two segments. So this period, okay, this period, let's say this is T1. Okay, for this period, the charge particles, the charge carriers, that will be transformed from semiconductor layers to the original. It will be transferred from the other semiconductor layer. Okay, and second time was, let's say another time we are defining from that is T2, that is almost 25% of the total negative current to the zero values. This time T2, here the charge carriers will be removed from the junctions. Okay, so we can define two times. One time T1, that is equal to the time required for transferring charge carriers from the semiconductor layer. Okay. Similarly, if you see the time T2, T2 is the time required for transferring charge carriers from the junctions. Okay, so you can say that the device turn-up time TQ will be equal to T1 plus T2. Okay, then and TC is the circuit turn-up time, and always the circuit turn-up time that will be greater than the device turn-up time. So this is a conclusion from this reverse recovery is that always the circuit turn-up time that will be greater than the device turn-up time for the successful commutation of the device. So that is essential. So this is the reason why, if you see, we'll see in the while discussing the rectifier, will come to know that there will be certain duration in the operation of the rectifier. It will come that the voltage across the device will be negative. Okay, so that happens due to the circuit configuration. So the reverse recovery happens inside that. So this is what happens during the switching. This process, entire process is known as the reverse recovery. Why it is essential? Because you need to take out the charge carriers which were transferred during the conduction. Or else if you are not doing that, then what will happen? During the next cycle of operation, it will not wait for the gate signal, it will be switched on H1. Okay, so in order to avoid that one, or in order to have a successful commutation, the circuit turn-up time must be greater than the device turn-up time. Okay, so this is the last part of the thyristor. So this is the first device that is covered till now. The next device that will be moving, that is nothing but called power MOSFET. Power MOSFET. So the next device that we'll be studying, that is nothing but power MOSFET. Power MOSFET. Okay, so MOSFET you might have studied in the analog electronics, but that MOSFET is not at power level because it handles the less voltage and less current at the signal level. But this MOSFET, whatever you will be studying as far as power electronics is concerned, that is termed as power MOSFET. Okay. So power MOSFET, if you see, it is the doping levels will be high compared to the signal level. So we'll not be comparing with the signal level MOSFET. So let's see what is that MOSFET. MOSFET is nothing but metal oxide semiconductor field effect transistor. This is one of the FET, but especially it is designed with metal, then oxide layer, then semiconductor layer will be present. That is what called the MOSFET. Okay. So MOSFET, before going for the MOSFET, we'll see some features of the MOSFET. Okay, features of the power MOSFET. So the first thing you can write down for this power MOSFET, it is a voltage control device. It is a voltage controlled device. So what is that meaning of this voltage control? You will see that if you compare with the BJT or if you compare with the thyristor, in thyristor, you are controlling the gate current in order to control the switching on time of thyristor. Okay. In BJT, we are controlling the base current. Okay. Base current if you control, then that BJT can be controlled. Okay. And if you remove the base current, then it will be off. Okay. So, but in this case, instead of the current, now you will be varying certain voltage, that is termed as VGS. That will see what is that exact one. So this is gate to source voltage. We'll see one by one. So gate to source voltage. If you vary this gate to source voltage, then you can control the MOSFET. So if you increase this value, then it will be on. If, when it is greater than the one certain or particular value, that is what called the threshold value, then it will be on. Then after that, if it is less than that value, then it will be off. Okay. So that's why it is called a voltage control device. So sometimes it is one question comes like this: which of the following, which of the following is a voltage controlled device? Okay. So the options can be put BJT. Second one, it can be put thyristor. Third option, it can be put, let's say, MOSFET. Okay. And fourth one can be none of the above. Okay. So you know, because these two are the current control device, okay, and this one is the only voltage control device, that is MOSFET. So that's why you can take this one, or directly it can ask which one, give one example of a voltage control device, give one example of current control device, like that. If like that question comes, you can answer it. Okay. And the second thing about the MOSFET, that you'll be finding that the switching speed is very high. The switching speed. The switching speed means the switching frequency. Okay. So because you know that these devices are used as the power electronic switch. So continuously they will be switched on and off. Okay. So during that period, while switching on and switching off, what is that speed? Okay. What is that in that one period? How many times you can switch on and switch off? Okay. So that is high, very high in compared to BJT. Okay. In compared to BJT, it is very high. That is the switching frequency. It is expressed in megahertz, in the range of megahertz. And if the switching frequency will be in megahertz, the switching time, okay, switching time obviously it will be very less. Switching time is of the order in nanoseconds. Okay. Certain megahertz, the switching frequency will be there. So the switching time you can express in nanoseconds. So you can see how small the time is. Okay. The next point, if you write down, it is application. So it is used in low power, high frequency applications. High frequency applications. Okay. Low power, high frequency application. So you see at your home you might have the inverter. Okay. Domestic inverter that you are using. If you open it, you can see MOSFET present inside that. And also if you see in your computer or desktop or laptop, you see there will be one small SMPS which will be giving the switching mode power supply. There also MOSFETs are widely used. Okay. So that's why its application is restricted to low power and high frequency applications. Okay. So next point is, you see in BJT there is one method that is very prominent drawback of the BJT, that is what called secondary breakdown. Secondary breakdown. So what does it mean? Let's say this is one transistor. If this is one transistor, this is, let's say it is PNP, or it can be NPN. So what happens? So this is, let's say, base, this is a collector, and this is, let's say, emitter. Okay. Now if you see, whenever the current flows, okay, so the current is supposed to be flowing over completely over the semiconductor layer. So it will be covering all this area. Okay. It should flow all over there. If it is not flowing uniformly, then there local hotspots will be generated. Local hotspots will be generated. So local hotspots means the accumulation heat will be occurring over there. So if that one will not be removed, okay, these local hotspots will not be prevented, then what will happen? Gradually this will be going for a thermal breakdown. This will go for a thermal breakdown. So this is what called the secondary breakdown. So this is very prominent in case of BJT. In case of BJT, it is very prominent. Okay, but in case of MOSFET, no such phenomena is found. Okay, so secondary breakdown is absent in MOSFET. Okay, unlike BJT. In BJT, this is very prominent. That is one of the drawback of BJT. But this thing is you will not find out in MOSFET. But however, in case of MOSFET, you are having one drawback. That is what called electrostatic discharge. Electrostatic discharge. So electrostatic discharge means you are using one oxide. If you see the name itself, it is called metal oxide semiconductor. So you are using one oxide here, oxide layer. That is particularly it is silicon dioxide. So this oxide layer that will be connected to the gate terminal. So if you go increasing the voltage, what will happen? This oxide failure may occur. Okay, this oxide failure may occur. So that is what called the electrostatic discharge. Okay, so electrostatic discharge of the oxide layer. Okay, exactly, it is the electrostatic discharge of oxide layer will happen. Okay, so that is one of the major problem for MOSFET. So that one also you have to take care. You while applying the voltage should not be reached to that level where it will go for the electrostatic discharge. So this is about the little bit introduction about the MOSFET. So MOSFET, how it is a little bit superior, and what is the drawback compared to the BJT, and how it is superior compared to the BJT. Now let's classify the MOSFET. So MOSFET, you see, it is classified into two types. So MOSFET, it will be classified into two types. One is called the depletion type, and second one is called enhancement type. Okay, so we'll see that what is the major difference between these two types, depletion type as well as the enhancement type. So that we'll see when we'll discuss one by one. And depletion type, again, it is classified into N channel enhancement type, depletion type, then P channel depletion type. Similarly, enhancement type MOSFETs are also classified into two types. One is called N channel, okay, and second one is the same P channel. So these are the MOSFETs that we will be using, okay, or we will be discussing one by one, depletion type as well as the enhancement type. So in both the cases you are having two type of configuration, one is N channel and P channel, okay. But you will come to know that as far as power electronics is concerned, okay, this enhancement type MOSFETs are preferred compared to the depletion type MOSFET. We'll see what is the reason for that, because that is one of the popular question that is being asked. why enhancement type MOSFETs are preferred for when the MOSFET is supposed to be used as switch rather than the depletion type MOSFET. So that also we'll discuss one by one. Then particularly n-channel enhancement type device that is used as a power twin switch. But the depletion type, then what is the application of this depletion type MOSFET? That is used in the amplification. Amplification it is used, but this will be used as power electronics applications. Power electronics applications. Okay, power electronic applications will be using. So now we'll see one by one. So first one we'll see the depletion type. Okay. Now we'll be discussing N channel as well as P channel. Then this characteristics. Then we'll move to enhancement type. So first one we'll see that is depletion type. Depletion type MOSFET. So in depletion type MOSFET, what we are doing? We are taking one bulk P-type substrate. We are taking one bulk P-type substrate. This is one P-type material. Okay, this is known as a substrate. Okay. Then what we are doing? We are putting one highly doped N plus. Okay, highly doped N plus material. Yeah. Another highly doped material that will be connected. Yeah. N plus. Okay. So this terminal. Okay, you will be using one. So this is the semiconductor layer. This is N plus, and this is P-type material. Okay. Then you are putting one oxide layer here. Okay. You are putting one oxide layer. So that will be connected here. Metal. It will be connected. Yeah, that will be. So this one will be the metal oxide layer. And here we'll be putting one metal contact. Here we'll be putting one metal contact, and this terminal is gate. And here we'll be putting another metallic contact. So all the places will be putting one metallic contact just to give the electrical connection. Okay, so metallic contact will be placed here, and this terminal is termed as source. Similarly, here also will be putting another metallic contact. Okay, so here this terminal is named as drain. Okay, so and in between this N2 N plus type material, it is connected through one another N type material. So here one N type material is connected. Okay. This is how the structure is, and here one also metallic contact that is also placed. This is one metallized layer. You can say this is one metallized layer. So this one is called metallized layer. Okay. So this is the substrate point. So this is also used as one of the contacts. Now this is the structure of one P-type substrate material. And if you look at here, okay, till now I have not said whether it is a P channel or N channel. Okay. Now we'll come to know why it is called whether it is called N channel or P channel. Look at here. Between this N plus type material, one N material is connected, so this forms the channel. Okay, so here a channel is formed where the charge carriers will move. So as the channel is formed here, and that is of N type material, so that's what is named as N channel. So this is nothing but one N channel depletion type MOSFET. This is one N channel depletion type MOSFET. So So N channel depletion type MOSFET. So here you have not applied any voltage. Okay, here you have not applied any voltage. So these are the metal contacts, and these are the N plus material, and these N plus material are highly doped. Okay, and this is the P type substrate. Okay, over which these layers are placed. Clear? Now, so this is the structure. Now, if you see symbolically how it is expressed, one N channel, just see the difference. It will be N channel, P channel. There will be little bit difference, and enhancement depletion type. By looking at the symbol also you can see. The symbol for the depletion type N channel MOSFET, here will be terminal, that is known as drain. So this is drain. So the same drain here. Then this side, bottom side will be having the source, and here will be having the gate. Okay, but another thing, for N channel, this direction, there will be one direction. So what is this direction? That will also come to know after doing the analysis. You see that this will be the movement of charge carrier. The direction will be showing the movement of charge carriers. Okay, so now we'll see that till now we have not applied any voltage. So if you are not applied any voltage, still you can see there is N plus type metal, P type metal. So one depletion layer will be formed. One depletion layer will be formed. So similarly here also one depletion layer will be formed. Okay, depletion layer always it will be formed whenever one P types or N type materials will be placed close to each other. Okay, now look at here how the channel will be formed. As already we have discussed, in N type material the majority charge carriers are the electrons. Okay, the majority charge carriers are electrons. So now we'll be applying the biasing. Biasing means we'll be applying the voltage. So while applying the voltage, you have to take care that which you have to apply the voltage with correct polarity. Okay, so let's say one case that if you are making this gate terminal negative, if you are making this gate terminal negative, what will happen? The N channel, the majority charge carriers are electrons. So electrons will be moving outside from this channel. Okay, so if it is moving outside, so it will not solve our problem, because always there will be one current flowing from drain to source or source to drain based on the applied voltage. So as the electrons will be moving towards the P substrate, then that will not solve our purpose. So for that purpose, then what you have to do, you have to apply, let's say, positive voltage. So if you are applying the positive voltage in N type metal, the minority charge carriers are the holes. Now majority charge carriers are electrons. Now if you are making it positive, what will happen? The electrons, okay, electrons, I am putting the negative mark. The electrons will be coming to close to the gate metallic terminal. So like that, the electrons will be accumulated here, then that will form one channel. Okay, form one channel of charge carriers. Already channel is there, but it will form one channel of charge carriers if you are applying a positive voltage. So how will be applying the positive voltage? Yeah, here you will be applying this positive terminal, this is negative terminal with respect to the source. Now you have applied. So what is this voltage? VGS. So now you are clear that VGS is positive, then only this channel will be formed and it will start conducting. Okay, then next what you have to do, you have to apply another voltage. You have to apply another voltage between the drain to source. Okay, so for that what you have to do, so drain to source, when you are going to apply one voltage, so there are this one. So if you want to apply the voltage, this drain is also connected to N plus type material. Okay, so you want to, and this N, particularly the this N plus type material is highly doped, so it contains more number of electrons. So what you have to do, you have to, if there are two possibilities, you can apply the negative voltage, you can apply the positive voltage, but here already you have applied gate to source voltage, that is gate to source, that is positive voltage. So what you have to do, you have to apply a positive voltage. That voltage is known as VDD. Okay, so this positive will be connected here. So if positive will be connected, all the electrons will be attracted here. Then this source will be connected here. So you are applying a voltage from the drain to source. This is how the biasing of the MOSFET is happening. Okay, then this point you will be connecting to this negative, terminal. Okay, that is the metallic terminal, because if you don't apply the voltage with respect to the P substrate, then conduction, that will not form one closed loop. Okay, that's why you need to connect one, the negative, the metallic contact of the P type substrate to the negative of the VDD. Then after this one, what will happen? The electrons. Okay, so now if you see closely what happens inside here. So what happens here? So you have applied one VGS voltage, then the VGS value you have to go on increasing. So if you go on increasing, then one particular that charge carriers channel of full of all the charge carriers that will be formed. Then after that, whenever you are applying one VDD voltage here, so it is now the electrons will be start moving here. So electrons will be moving in this direction. Electrons will be moving in the upward direction, that is from source to drain. So as a result, one current will be flowing through the drain to source, that is nothing but drain current. Okay, so that drain current will be flowing. Okay, that drain current will be flowing. So let's see the operation one by one, then we can go for the characteristics. Okay, so this is the drain current. So drain current is flowing due to the application of this voltage, that is drain to source voltage, provided that VGS is necessary, because if you are increasing the VGS, okay, increasing the VGS, then the channel that will be formed of all the electron charge carriers, which will be helping to move from the source to drain. Okay, so that's why without VGS, if VGS is 0, okay, then if you are only applying the VDD, then it will not conduct. Okay, because this N layer needs certain amount of potential, so that the electrons will take part in the movement of the charge carriers from source to drain, and as a result, the drain current will be flowing from drain to source. Okay, so this is what called the drain current. So this is the operation of N channel depletion type MOSFET, where you are having one particular one channel is present, only you have to apply the certain voltage. And while applying the voltage, always remember this gate source voltage, as soon as you are applying certain positive voltage, it may not get switched on. So that VGS must be equal to the, or it must be greater than equal to the one threshold value, that is known as VGS threshold. VGS threshold value, then only this one will conduct. Okay, so this is the operation of a N channel MOSFET. This is the operation for a N channel depletion type MOSFET. Now, if you do the reverse thing, means instead of P type substrate, now you put the N type substrate, and in place of this N plus, now you put P plus, here P and here P plus. Then this will become a P channel, because channel through which the charge carrier should move, so that one will be made up of P type material. That's why it is called a P channel MOSFET. So now if you draw the circuit again for the P channel, now it will be looking like, again now we will be taking one ball N type substrate. Okay, we will be taking one N type substrate. So here again the same thing, metallic contact will be there. N type metallic contact will be there. Then here we'll be putting one P type, P plus means it is the whole it is a P plus means the whole concentrations are moved. Okay, so in the previous case we are having N plus, where the electron concentration was very high. So here it is P plus, where whole concentration will be very high. The next one where you can put, that is another P plus. Okay, then here you will be putting another P type material. And the electrical contact, that is the same as the previous one. Here you can put one metallic contact. Okay, so this one will be source, and here one oxide layer will be placed. So that's why it is MOSFET. So one oxide layer, this one is oxide layer, but particularly it is silicon dioxide. Already I told you this one. Then here will be having one metallic contact, and this terminal is known as gate. Okay, and here also you can put one, all the places where it will be, you will be connecting the semiconductor material, that is nothing but one metallic contact for the electrical connection. So this terminal is known as drain. Okay. So now if you see here, if you see and compare to the previous configuration, only the semiconductor layers are interchanged. N-type material is replacing the P-type material. Okay, means the P-type substrate is now replaced by one N-type substrate. Then N plus material, okay, that is replaced by P plus material. Then P channel, okay, so that is replaced by that is replacing the N channel, and here also another P plus. So if you see here, drain as well as source, both are having a P plus type material, and P plus type material you people might be knowing. So this is P plus type means holes are the majority carriers. Okay, holes are the majority carriers. Now let's apply the biasing voltage. Now first of all, you will see that how, in which case the charge carriers will be accumulated near to the gate terminal. So there are two possibilities. If you are making a positive, you can make it gate, because in the previous case we have made the gate positive. Let's first case you make the gate positive. At if gate will be made positive, then what will happen? It will repel the holes. It will repel the holes away from here. The holes will be repelled away from the gate terminal. Okay, so it will be coming out of the P channel into the N-type substrate. So that's why, due to that reason, what will happen? It will not conduct, because it will not assist in the conduct. Even though if you apply certain drain to source voltage, so in between the channel is not supported, because channel, the voltage we have applied, that is not supporting the movement of the holes. Okay, so for that reason, the positive supply cannot apply. So what you have to make? You have to apply a negative supply. So if you are applying a negative supply, what will happen? The holes, I am putting a small round structure for representing the holes. Okay, the holes will be coming or accumulated near to the gate terminal. Then what will happen? If you are applying the negative terminal, so here will be the charge carriers. Then, so let's apply that voltage. The negative terminal means here first you connect the negative terminal, positive terminal you connect to the source. Now with this you are successfully, you have created the holes near to the gate terminal. Okay, near to the gate terminal, which is now forming one channel of charge carriers. Then after that, what you have to do? Let's say now we'll be applying the drain to source voltage for biasing. Okay, so drain to source voltage, there are also two possibilities. If you are making in the like the previous case, if you are making it positive, then what will happen? It will repel the holes. It will repel the holes, and it will repel the holes, so that the conduction will not happen, because you need to have holes present near to this metallic contact, so that it can form. And here also same thing will happen. Then you will be having one path for the holes that will be flowing from one terminal to the other terminal. So that's why we cannot make it positive, so we will be making it negative terminal. So here this VDD. Okay, so that if this potential, if you are applying, if this potential, I told you that always the drain is highly doped compared to this P plus layer. Okay, this P plus layer, the source P plus layer, always drain is highly doped. So what will happen? It is a P plus layer, so more number of holes are present. So whenever it is connected to the negative potential, then what will happen? All the holes will be accumulated here. Then it will start conducting. So now look at here. Here negative terminal is there. So this is negative terminal. This is positive terminal. Negative terminal means holes will be attracted. Holes will be attracted in this direction. Okay. So holes will be attracted in this direction means always you know that the drain current will be also flowing in that direction, because the current flows in the direction of hole. Okay, hole it moves from this direction, current will be also moving the same direction. So that's why the drain current will be now flowing from here. So drain current here, it will be entering, okay, to the source terminal, then it will pass through this path and it will be moving. Okay, so this is the operation of the one P channel. This is why it is called P channel, because the channel charge carriers that is formed, that is based on the holes. So and based on the channel it is formed, that is done through the P type material. So that's why it is called P type depletion type MOSFET. So P-type depletion type MOSFET, this is the operation where you are applied certain voltages and you are getting the current will be flowing one direction. And if you see, if you compare the both the N channel as well as P channel, if you see the VGS in the N channel, it is positive with respect to the source, but VGS is negative. Okay, so if you make one table, VGS, okay, then drain current, then VDD. Okay, so if you are assuming this, if you are taking the reference as N channel, then VGS that you have applied for N channel. So for N channel, VGS is positive. Drain current, if you are assuming this is the positive direction of the drain current, so drain current is also positive for N channel, and VDD, let it be positive. But if for a P channel, the VGS is negative, ID is also negative because the direction has changed. Okay, just for showing, and this is also become negative. Okay. So this is the comparison between the N channel, P channel depletion type MOSFET, where you are having one P-type metal connecting with the two terminals, that is source to drain. Okay, that is what through which one channel is formed. Okay, so one physical channel already present over there. So if you draw the symbol, so it will be little bit different. Okay, so it will be little bit different from the previous one. It will be different from the N-type material. So look at here. This one is drain, okay, and this one is source, and this one is gate. But how to know whether it is N channel or P channel? You see that charge carrier direction. The charge carrier direction, based on that you can mark. Okay. So it will mark here. So the charge carriers are moving like this from the gate terminal to here. So it means it is nothing but it's showing the direction of the electrons. So direction of the electrons, it is from away, opposite to the previous case. Okay, so that's why, or you can take the poles also, because poles are moving in the opposite direction. So that's why, like compared to the previous one, so this is the basic difference between the two symbols. Okay, if the arrow is inward, that is what called a N channel, and this symbol is for depletion type MOSFET. And if the channel is if the arrow is outward, then it is a P channel. P channel, then this continuous line for this one. So due to that one, so this is nothing but P channel depletion type. P channel depletion type MOSFET. Okay. So this is how the this P type or N type depletion type MOSFETs are operating. Okay. So we have not derived, we have not discussed the characteristics. So characteristics will be discussing together for depletion as well as enhancement type MOSFETs. So the next type of MOSFET that we will be discussing, that is nothing but enhancement type. Enhancement type. So enhancement type MOSFET, it is more or less same as the depletion type. Only thing you will be having the change as far as the P channel and N channel is concerned. This middle layer, okay, this middle P layer, and in case of N channel, this middle N layer, that will not be present. So what is the major point here? No physical channel. No physical channel is present. No physical channel is present. Then how the conduction will be done? So here the conduction will be done by, again the procedure will be same, but provided that here what we will be doing, we will be applying certain voltages, and the virtually one channel will be formed. Okay, earlier one P-type material will be there. Okay, so that's why it was helping in the conduction. But if you in enhancement type, there will be no physical channel. Okay, so you will see that you have to apply certain voltage, and so that one virtual channel will be formed. That's why this is called enhancement type. Enhancement type, and forcibly you are forming one virtual channel. Okay, whether it may be N channel or it may be a P channel. Okay. Now let's try to understand the operation of this basic enhancement type MOSFET. So enhancement type MOSFET, again the same thing, will be having let's first discuss the N channel. So you will be having one P type bulk substrate. Okay, so P type, this is P type bulk substrate, and here will be the metallic contact. This is the metallic contact for this one. Similarly, this part is same as the previous one. Here N plus type material will be there. Here another N plus type material will be there. Okay. Then here will be having the metallic oxide. This has the metallic oxide. Here you can put the metallic contact as in the previous case. So here also you can put the metallic contact for electrical connection, and this one also, here also you can put the metallic contact. So this terminal is known as drain, okay, and this terminal is known as source, and this terminal is known as gate. Okay. So if you see this figure, and if you compare to the previous one, that is depletion type MOSFET, now look at, if you look at here, there is no physical. So here, if you this portion, there is no channel is present. Okay, so it is completely vacant. So how it will be handling this kind of devices? Okay, so this is the structure of the enhancement type MOSFET. And if you try to draw the symbol, then for this enhancement type MOSFET, the symbol will be little bit different. By looking at the symbol, you can say whether it is an enhancement type or depletion type MOSFET. Here it is like this. So this is drain terminal, okay, and this will be the gate terminal, and here we'll be having the source. Here will be having the source terminal, and this is a N channel. So here N channel direction will be always whether it is a depletion type MOSFET or enhancement type MOSFET, for N channel the direction will be always inward. Okay, so this is the enhancement type. So enhancement type, if you see, this is not a continuous line, this is a discontinuous line, and this arrow will be inward for N channel. So this is nothing but one N channel enhancement type MOSFET. So the symbols you have to be very clear. Generally in the power electronics, this device, this particular N channel enhancement type MOSFET, that is used. Okay. Now let's see how this operation will happen. Okay. So now what you have to do, let's say there is no physical channel, so this material is the P type material. So what you have to do, if you, let's say there are two possible cases. If you are applying a positive voltage, okay, then what will happen? As here nothing is, no channel is present, means here the P type material is present, okay, because of the substrate. So what you have to do, if you are applying the positive terminal, then holes will be repelled, and what will happen? Electrons will be accumulated here, because in the P type material the minority charge carriers will be the electrons, so electrons will be accumulated here. Then if you go on increasing the voltage, then what will happen? Then here this layer will be increasing, then after that so, but if you are applying the negative voltage, what will happen? It will allow, it will attract all the holes will be accumulated here. So that will not solve our purpose, because the drain and source both are N type material. So if you are making this one full of electrons, then the conduction will happen. Okay. So for that purpose, what you have to do, this gate voltage should be positive. So here you apply a positive voltage, that is gate to source voltage. This is on VGS. Then here, this is N type material, this is N plus type material. As in the case of previous, that is depletion type MOSFET, what you have to do, you have to apply a positive voltage here. So if you are applying a positive voltage, so this will be plus minus plus minus. So this is nothing but VDD, okay, and this will be with respect to the source, and this P type substrate that will be connected to the negative terminal. Okay, so now if you are going increasing this gate to source voltage, what will happen? The electrons will be accumulated here, and they will be forming one virtual channel. So they will be forming one virtual channel. So now when you are applying the drain to source voltage, then in that case what will happen? Now the electrons should be moving in this direction, because here positive terminal is connected. So this positive terminal will attract all the electrons. So electrons will be moving in the upward direction, and the drain current will be moving in our exact opposite to the movement of the electron. So drain current will be moving in this direction. Okay. So here the drain current will be in the source side, it will be in this direction. So you have to apply certain voltage. So that is what called the threshold voltage. If you are applying certain threshold voltage, then only this virtual layer will be formed. Okay. So virtual layer to form that one, if you see compared to the previous one, the magnitude of VGS may not be that much high. Okay, but here you have to apply a little bit higher voltage just to have one virtual layer over there. So this is the operation of the N channel enhancement type, and this is the symbol. Okay, and if you do just the reverse one, means now you put the P type material in place of P type material, you put N type material, here P plus, here P plus. Okay, then the polarity, like in the previous case, all the polarities will be also changing. So let's say P channel MOSFET, take one bulk P type material. Okay, take one bulk P type material. Then after that, just connect here a metallic contact. Put this metallic contact. Then here will be we putting P plus type material. Here also P plus type material. Then there is no physical channel. Okay, so this is N type substrate, okay. And here you can put the metallic contact for electrical connection. And this terminal is known as drain, and here you can put the another metallic contact, and this terminal is known as source. And here oxide layer will be present, and here will become metallic contact. Okay, so this oxide layer, what is the purpose? This is acting like an insulation. It is isolating from semiconductor to this gate terminal. Okay, but you can apply the voltage. Okay, that forms one capacitor over there. So we'll see in the while discussing the characteristics. So this is gate terminal. So now, so this is the structure. Then what will be the symbol? So symbol will be like the previous one, only change will be the arrow mark. Okay, so here discontinuous line. So here will be drain terminal. This one will be the source terminal, and this will be the gate voltage. Okay, and this terminal will be connected here. But as it is a P channel type MOSFET, so here the direction will be opposite to that of N channel. So this is the symbol for this. Now let's apply the biasing voltage. So biasing voltage, already this is N type material. So what will happen if you are applying a negative N type material? So if you are applying a negative voltage here, if you are applying a negative first case, let's say positive voltage. So positive voltage means what will happen? All the electrons will be coming here. All the electrons will be coming here. But we want, this is the P plus type material. This is P plus type material. If holes will be present in between, then the charge flow will be happen easily. So for that purpose, what I have to do? you cannot apply the positive voltage, you have to apply negative voltage. So negative voltage means you make the gate terminal negative, so here it will be negative, then positive. So this is VGS. Okay. So with that polarity, what will happen? These electrons, it will attract the holes. So holes will be present here. So holes will be present, and they will be forming one virtual channel here. So virtual channel they will be forming. Then after that, what will happen? Then you have to apply a voltage from the drain to source. So for that, you have to apply certain voltage here. But what will the magnitude of this voltage? Look at here. Here P plus type metal is present. As P plus type metal is, the holes are present over there. So holes are present over there means you have to apply certain voltage such that the holes will be moving in the source to drain. If the holes will be moving from source to drain, then here what you can do, you have to put a negative potential here. So this will be negative. So this is negative, positive, negative, positive. So this potential if you apply, this is negative, this is positive value of VDD. And what will happen? It will allow this negative terminal, it will attract all the holes here, and holes will be moving in this direction. And the holes will be moving in this direction means obviously the current will be also going in this direction. So current will be flowing here to here, it is, and in this direction, and here in this direction. And it is, if you see compared to the N channel, it is exactly opposite. So here is the thing that there is no physical channel is present, but what are the VGS that will be applying, that will be that threshold value that will be comparatively high compared to the depletion type MOSFETs, so that this virtual channel will be formed. So now after doing this one, we'll be getting this current, drain current. So drain current here, it will be flowing from here source to drain, because this is a P channel material. Okay. So this is how the circuit is the operation for enhancement type as well as depletion type MOSFETs. Okay. So enhancement type and depletion type MOSFET, and for this all this is the oxide layer. In all cases, whether it is in depletion type or enhancement type, all these are oxide layers. So oxide layer, so that is particularly we are using the silicon oxide. We are using the silicon oxide, so that's why that is forming one dielectric. Okay, that is forming one dielectric. Okay. Between the gate to source. Okay, gate to and source, with respect to gate to source, it is forming one dielectric. So that is what called the gate to source capacitance, and this is how, let's say, while switching on the device, okay, continuously be switching on and switching off. Okay, that means, in other words, you are just charging the gate to source capacitance, whatever the formed over there, okay, through this dielectric material, that is nothing but oxide layer. So that one will be continuously will be charging and discharging. So for that one, that whenever you will be switching on and switching off. Okay. So how with a minimum time, how will be switch can charge the capacitor and discharge the capacitor? That thing will be you can do it only by doing certain modifications, which or you will be designing one circuit, that is what called the drive circuit. Okay, by designing one proper gate drive circuit, you can design such kind of arrangements. Okay, for that, due to which you can reduce the on time as well as off time. Okay. So now let's discuss the steady state characteristics. Okay, let's discuss the steady state characteristics of this material, this particular device. Okay. So and if you see, due to the presence, so if you see all the cases, whether it is enhancement type, whether it is a depletion type, all the cases you are putting one oxide layer. So that is nothing but the input, that is nothing but the input circuit. So input circuit, you will come to know that you will find out the input resistance due to the presence of this oxide layer. The input resistance that will be in mega ohm. Okay, the input resistance is very high. That is, if you compare with the BJT and MOSFET, BJT, the comparatively the input resistance is very low, but in case of MOSFET, the input resistance is very high because of presence of the silicon dioxide layer. Okay. So due to presence of that silicon dioxide layer, this input resistance is very high in terms of mega ohm. Okay. Then, so due to the high input resistance, what will happen? Input is the gate circuit, gate to source voltage. So the gate current, obviously the input resistance is high, means gate current will be low. Okay, because as it has input high input resistance, that's why input gate current that will be of low value. Okay, and another point you can make it here. It has also high on-time resistance, that is already a high on-time resistance. So due to the construction of this p-type material, n-type material, so what happens in this all these MOSFETs, it is having high on-time resistance. So high on-time resistance means how it is affecting the operation. If on-time resistance is high, then conduction loss will be also high. Conduction loss means the loss that occurs during the conduction whenever the device is conducting. During that period, what are the losses occurring? That is nothing but a conduction loss. So conduction loss depends upon this on-time resistance. As on-time resistance, it is high. Obviously, the conduction loss, let's say if it is the current flowing through this one is IT some value, let's say I, so I square into R1, so that will be high. So that's why conduction loss will be also very high. Okay. Now let's study the characteristics, steady state characteristics. Steady state characteristics. So to study the steady state characteristics, now let's analyze the circuit 191. Okay. So for that purpose, here one thing you'll come to know that as it is having the high input resistance, so that's why gate current is low. So if you will be finding out the current amplification or current amplification factor or the current gate, that is nothing but ID divided by IG, because IG's value is very low. So here you will be getting high current gain, that will be in the order of 10 to the power 9. Okay, but this value it is not calculated for these devices. Okay, as this current gain is very high, so that's why this is not calculated. So instead of that, transconductance is calculated. Instead of that, transconductance is calculated. So what is this transconductance? Transconductance is nothing but it is represented by Gm, that will be relating with the output current, that is del ID, that is the change in the output current, change in this drain current, okay, divided by change in the input voltage. So what is the input voltage? That is gate to source voltage. Okay, provided that that output voltage VDS, that is equal to constant. This is what called the transconductance. So here transconductance, you can say that this is one of the figure of merit which is used for classifying these MOSFETs. Okay, and transconductance, it is relating the output parameter to the input parameter. Okay, so that's why instead of the input characteristics in case of the MOSFET, we will be drawing, that is what called transfer characteristics. We'll be drawing the transfer characteristics. Transfer characteristics. So transfer characteristics is nothing but it is the characteristics which portrays the output parameter with respect to the input, input parameter. So that's why it is called as the transfer characteristics. So transfer characteristics now, input for all the devices, the input is the gate to source voltage. What is the output parameter? That is the drain current. So VGS versus ID, that is nothing but the transfer characteristics. Transfer characteristics. Okay. So we'll see for whether it is N channel or P channel, what is the variation of VGS versus ID, that will be nothing but the transfer characteristics. And next characteristics that we'll be seeing here, that is nothing but output characteristics. So output characteristics, it is very clear. So output parameter, if you see any of this device, what is the output voltage? Nothing but drain to source voltage. VDD, even though if you are applying the terminal point of view, if you see the voltage, it is VDS. Okay, the terminal voltage is nothing but VDS. Okay. Okay. So output voltage is VDS. So it is VDS versus output current is the drain current for different values of input current. So it is same like your transistor. You have while plotting the characteristics, you follow the same rules. So this is for different input voltage. That's for different input voltage. The VGS value. You have to see what is the variation of the drain current with respect to the VDS. If you go on increasing the VDS, what will be the magnitude of ID and different areas of operation? Okay, different areas of operation of this MOSFET. Okay, so there are three regions. Okay, that three regions will be defined as far as the output characteristics is concerned. So that we'll see one while discussing the output characteristics. First we will see the transfer characteristics. Transfer characteristics. Okay. So for understanding the transfer characteristics, now let's go to the N channel depletion type MOSFET. The first one is N channel depletion type MOSFET. So N channel depletion type MOSFET, let's draw the characteristics here. Okay. So this is VGS. Let's draw it here. This is VGS. Okay. This is minus VGS. And this is the drain current. Okay. Now, what happens here? Now, what we'll see there? This is the positive VGS. This is minus VGS. Okay. So, in the N channel depletion type MOSFET, what we are doing? Let's say we are applying certain voltage. Okay. So, we are applying certain voltage means that is positive terminal we have connected here and negative terminal we have connected here to the source. So, this voltage. Okay. If you go on increasing the voltage, what will happen? This layer charge carriers will be accumulated and to the N channel it will be moving. Then what happens? VGS, because whenever VGS will be reaching to the, when VGS will be equal to the threshold value, that is VGS threshold value, then what will happen? The channel is formed. Now it depends upon this magnitude. If you are increasing the drain to source voltage, if you go on increasing the drain to source voltage, what will happen? It will be forming what the depletion layer will be formed. Okay, so what will happen? That it will be charge carriers will be moving in this direction. Now gradually, if you go on increasing the voltage, here positive terminal will be there. So this position, this will be narrowed. This narrowing will be of the depletion channel. Narrowing of the channel will be occurring here as we go on increasing this voltage. This due to this narrowing. Okay, even though this narrowing is happening, the drain current will not be affected. So drain current, the magnitude will not be affected, but this narrowing happens and this process is called the pinch off. This process is called pinch off process. So during that period, okay, what is the gate voltage that you have applied, that is what called the pinch off voltage. So that pinch off voltage, it is for N channel type material, that is nothing but the minus of VGS. So here it is Vp equal to minus of VGS, okay, minus of VGS, which is nothing but the pinch off voltage. Then after that, if you go on increasing this gate to source voltage in the positive direction, okay, then what will happen? The drain current, okay, the drain current will be varying in this path. The drain current will be following this path. Then what will be this one? This current. So this current is nothing but the IDSS. So IDSS is the saturation current for the drain when VGS equal to 0. VGS equal to the 0. So it will follow this path. Actually, how it is following? It follows that Shockley's equation. So how it is expressed? So that ID equal to some constant K into VGS minus VGST, that is the threshold, this square. Okay. So if you see the variation VGS and the ID, if you plot, so this is that will come like a parabolic. So based on this equation, now this one will be flowing, but at this instant, whenever this voltage will be reaching to this voltage, that is what called the pinch off. So pinch off means the narrowing of the channel occurs. So narrowing of the channel occurs. So this is nothing but the transfer characteristics. So transfer characteristic here, the output current is plotted versus the gate to source voltage. So gate to source voltage, if you increase that voltage, what will happen? N channel. So you are considering this one is negative value. So that is nothing but it is this voltage. Whenever it is reaches to this value, this pinch of value, what happens? Gradually the drain current from this pinch of value, threshold value. Now, if you are increasing the VGS, then ID current will be increasing, and that happens due to the varies or increase in the drain to source voltage, and it follows a path from this equation. That is what called the drain current equal to K into VGS minus VT square. Now, same thing happens for the now if you see this same thing for the P channel. If you see for the P channel, and if you want to plot, this is VGS, the transfer characteristic, the phenomena is same. Okay, but as if you see, let's say we have taken this current as the positive direction, and here the current has changed in the opposite direction, so that's why the current is negative. So I can put it minus ID. Okay, so now for this one, VGS, if you find out, that is the gate to source voltage, that will be starting from here, where the pinch off occurs. Here also the narrowing of the channel will be occurring at particular certain voltage of gate to source voltage. Okay, so that gate to source voltage is nothing but this is VP. Okay, so VP is positive for this P type material, and from here the current will be increasing the reverse direction means it is compared with the N channel. That's why it is shown negative. Actually, the current is not negative, but the current has changed its direction from the N type material, N channel type MOSFET. So that's why it is, to differentiate the characteristics, it is represented like this. But it will follow the same Fourier equation, and it will follow a path like this, the parabolic path, and this one will be the corresponding IDSS. That is nothing but the saturation current of the drain current when VG is equal to 0. When VG is equal to 0. Now same thing. So this is nothing but the for depletion type material. So depletion type material, already the channel is there. So that's why what if you apply a little bit of voltage, then what will then the channel will be formed. Then if you go on increasing the drain to source voltage, then this pinch off will be occurring. Okay, so that corresponding voltage is known as that corresponding to that instant, the gate to source voltage is known as the pinch off voltage. That is nothing but VP. Okay, so see, now next we'll see the enhancement type MOSFET. So enhancement type MOSFET, what happens? Enhancement type MOSFET, if you see the N channel, so this is the N channel type N channel MOSFET. So here I told you there is no physical channel, so you have to apply voltage up to certain period. Okay, so here this is ID, this is VGS. Okay. So transfer characteristic always it will be ID versus VGS, because VGS is the input voltage, ID is the output current. Okay. Now if you see, if you go on increasing the voltage, if you go on increasing this VGS value, and here you have to apply a voltage more than the threshold value. You have to apply a voltage more than the threshold value, which is known as the VT. So if you are applying voltage more than this VT, then what will happen? It will go on increasing. It will follow the same parabolic path. Okay, it will follow the same parabolic path, provided that when VGS reaches to the VT, then only it will start conduct. Okay, that is the difference between. So what happens when it reaches to this threshold value? So that threshold value depends upon the charge carrier concentration in this type of material, and here you don't have any physical channel. So here I told you in the previously also I told you that in this case you have to apply a little bit more gate to source voltage, such that it will be exactly equal to this threshold value. Then at this threshold value, then the drain current will be gradually, it will be increasing. Okay, so in this case if you see, as there is no channel, sort of channel is formed, so here this is the voltage you have to apply, that will be little bit higher compared to the depletion type MOSFET. Okay, similarly, now if you see the next one, that is nothing but the P type. Okay, nothing but P type P channel the enhancement type MOSFET. In that, this is the VGS. Okay, this is VGS, and this will be the negative VGS, and whatever the voltage that appeared in the N channel, so it will be exactly opposite. So here the drain current is changed, the direction is changed, so let it be minus ID. Okay, and here also you have to apply the voltage in the reverse value, because if you are taking this value as positive, it's then in this case VGS is opposite to that one. So in the reverse direction, if you are increasing the voltage, that will reach to the if you go on increasing the voltage, so there will be one point, that is what called the threshold value. So here threshold value is minus VGS. Okay, minus VGST, you can say it is a negative value. So during that point, from that point, the drain current will increase. That means if you are applying the gate to source voltage and it reaches to the threshold value, then only drain current will try to increase. But as the drain current is opposite to that we have discussed in the N channel MOSFET, that's why we have assumed it a negative. But actually the current is not negative, current flows in the opposite direction. So this is nothing but the transfer characteristics for the P channel. So P channel enhancement type MOSFET. Okay. So if you compare here the enhancement type MOSFET, the VGS, it has to reach to the threshold value in order to make the device on. But however, if you see, the device will be on. Okay, even though if it is VGS is 0, okay, even though VGS 0, still as there is a physical channel, a small amount of current will be flowing. So due to that reason, this is the reason why enhancement type MOSFETs are preferred compared to the depletion type MOSFET as far as the power electronics applications are concerned. So what is that reason? In depletion type MOSFET, so I told you why the enhancement type MOSFETs are used for power electronics. So enhancement type MOSFET used for power electronics application. Power electronics application. So what is the reason for that? Because in depletion type MOSFET, what happens in depletion type MOSFET, whenever VGS equal to 0, okay, the device will be still on. Okay, the device will be still on. But in case of MOSFET, enhancement type MOSFET, if VGS equal to 0, device will be off. Okay, and if VGS is greater than equal to the threshold value, the device will be on. Okay, so due to this reason, this should perfectly suitable for the power electronics application. So this is the reason why enhancement type MOSFETs are preferred compared to the depletion type MOSFET for as far as the power electronic applications are concerned. Okay, so this is nothing but the characteristics of transfer characteristics. Okay, but more or less we are very much interested for the output characteristics as far as power electronics is concerned. Okay, so the output characteristics here you have divided into 3 different operations. Okay, so what are the three different regions? What is the region? First one is called cutoff region. Okay, for the cutoff region, the gate to source voltage, that will be less than equal to VT, that is the threshold value. Okay, or rather you can write down VGS threshold value. Okay, and second region is called pinch off or saturation, where this VDS, okay, will be greater than equal to VGS minus VT. Clear? Then third region is called linear region. Third one is called linear region. Okay. So linear region here, ID is proportional to VDS. So these are the three different operating regions of the MOSFET. Okay. So here we'll be drawing the output characteristics. So output characteristics, it will be versus the drain current versus the VDS for different values of the input voltage, that is like what VGS. Now look at here. Here the cutoff region, it is fine. Okay, VGS is less than the threshold value, that's why it will not be off. So the current that will be flowing through the device, that will be very minimum value. But the pinch off and saturation. So pinch off and saturation, this is not exactly that in case of BJT. It is a little bit different. That we'll see how it is different from the BJT. Okay. Then linear region. Linear region, if you see the drain current is proportional to the VDS. Okay. So that's why. So now let's draw the characteristics. Okay. This will be for, this is VDS and this is ID. Okay. Now let's see what happens. We'll be starting from here. So whenever I told you that initially whenever you are applying the gate voltage and it has the voltage level has not reached to the pinch off value, pinch off means the narrowing of the channel has not occurred. In that case, what will happen? Till that period, if you are increasing the VDS, okay, gradually. So let's say you have increased the VDS in such a way that for one particular value of VGS, okay, for particular value of VGS1, if you are increasing, so here this point onwards, if you see, let me draw it again. If you are increasing the drain to source voltage, this value is increasing, but after that one, you will see if you go on increasing the VDS, then ID will not increase that manner. It will not increase in that proportion. Okay, so let's say this is VGS1. But see, if the gate to source voltage, if you are maintaining exactly equal to the threshold value, okay, if it is equal to the threshold value, then what will happen? You know that is K, from the Shockley's equation, ID will be equal to, from the Shockley's equation, you people know that ID was equal to K into VGS minus VT square. So now if both are equal, so it will be almost equal to 0. So that one will be equal to the value, this condition. So here VGS equal to VT. Then if you go on increasing the VGS, so then what will happen? If you go on increasing the VGS value, so further if you are increasing the value of VGS, then you will see that variation of the drain current with respect to the VDS, it will be linear up to more duration. Okay. Then after that again it will follow the same path. So here if you see what happens, even though you are increasing the VDS, okay, still ID current will be almost, it will be remaining constant. So this is corresponding to VGS2. Then after that, if you are increasing the VGS value, then if you are varying the VDS, then you will be getting another region here. So here it will be corresponding to the VGS3. Still again further, if you are varying the VDS, then it will be following this path and it will be reaching to the VGS4. Now look at here. The locus of all the pinch off voltages for different values of gate to source voltage, you take the locus. Okay, if you take the locus of all these points, okay, so this one is known as, this one will be the boundary condition. You can say that the boundary condition between this region is called pinch off. Okay, so pinch off means what happens? I told you, let's say the channel was like this. At the narrowing of the channel has occurred. Okay, still some current will be flowing, but that current, it will not decrease the amount of current, but it will be more or less, it will be constant. More or less, if you see the change in the drain current, that will be constant. So that's why it is called as pinch off or saturation. Okay, So pinch up and saturation, how you can define in other way? In this region, if you see what is the drain resistance RDS, you can find out drain to source resistance. That is nothing but del VDS divided by del IDS. Okay. So what happens? How to get this resistance? You RDS equal to change in the VDS divided by change in the IDS. So what is this VDS? That is the voltage, drain to source voltage. This is drain to source current. Now in this region, in this pinch up region, if you see the voltage is increasing, okay, but the current is almost constant. So current is almost constant. So current is constant, okay, but VDS is increasing, okay. So VDS is increasing means what has happened? The resistance is increasing, okay. This is what happened. The current is almost fixed, so that's why it is the resistance. This RDS is increasing, Okay. So this is the reason why it is termed as the saturation. Saturation in terms of that current, because current is no more increasing. Okay, current is almost constant. That's what is termed as the saturation. It is not the same as we have studied in the BJT. Okay. So this one is this locus of all the pinch of voltages. So this is the pinch of voltage for VGS4. Okay, so you can mark it VP4. Okay, and this is the pinch of voltage where the narrowing of the channel occurs. So this is nothing but VP3, and this is VGS2 where this during this point this corresponding voltage is the pinch of voltage VP2, and for VGS1 this is nothing but VP1. So if you take the locus of this one, this is the setting the boundary point. So here this region will be the pinch up or saturation point. So we are not interested in that saturation point. Okay, and here if you see when VGS equal to VT, already you see that this expression showing that ID current will be almost equal to 0. So this region is known as the cutoff region. This is known as the cutoff region. Then now look at here. If you see this region, okay, beyond this region, in this region, if you see IDS is proportional to VDS. IDS is proportional to VDS. Okay, so that's why this region is known as the linear region. This region is known as linear region. So this is the linear region. This is the cutoff region. Whenever this MOSFET is used as the switch, okay, then it will be operated between the linear region as well as the cutoff region. Okay, but in the saturation region, if it is operated in the saturation region, so for the application, if you are using for the amplification, in that case you will be using in the saturation region, or else it will be used in this linear region as well as the cutoff region. Okay, so linear saturation region, the resistance increases. Okay, if the resistance increases, what will happen? The losses will be also increasing. So it will be more or less it will be operating between the linear region and cutoff region. Okay, so you can make these points here. Okay, you can make these points. First thing is that when VGS equal to VT, ID becomes 0. So since ID equal to, according to the Stokes equation, it is VGS minus VT square. Okay. The second thing we can, that RDS increases in saturation region. These are the saturation region, because ID is almost remaining constant, because it is del VDS by del IDS. IDS is remaining constant, but VDS is increasing. Third thing you can write down here. So from here, before the pinch of voltage, okay, before the pinch of voltage means where you are having a wider channel. In that case, what happens? Your ID is proportional to VDS. Okay, so that corresponds to a linear region. That corresponds to the linear region. Okay, so you will be operating the thyristor in the linear region. Okay, you will be operating the thyristor in linear region for switching action. So not the thyristor, sorry, the MOSFET. So MOSFET will be operated in linear region. Okay, linear region for switching action. Awesome. Okay, so MOSFET will be operating in the linear region for switching action. So in the characteristics will be performing or will be operating at in this particular linear region. Okay, so this is all about that VI characteristics of MOSFET. Okay. And different kinds of MOSFETs also we have discussed. So next we'll be continuing in the gate drive circuits in the next lecture.